you just prompt me where you want me to go?
Yeah. Okay. Today I'm at the Vanishing Point Art Gallery to meet the photographer artist Jacq Sherry. Hello, Jacq.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Now listen, I've never met you before. You've done a whole wall of light box photographs which are of figures in water. Can you explain to me what drew you, what was your inspiration?
So initially this was this is part of a group show with 3 other artists, and our original idea was, or theme was light flight silhouettes, and so I was wanting to do something to do with women, relationships and women, and then as a group we came to call the show Invisible Light.
Right.
So, so I started just sort of intuitively working with that idea and seeing what sort of images came up in my head. And I was away with my mates here, and I just asked them if they could get in the freezing cold water.
This is a river, is it?
It's an estuary.
So yeah, okay, because it's got such a beautiful depth of colour.
Yeah.
It's not a swimming pool, and look, you can really see that. That's fresh water.
Yeah.
Wow. Whereabouts?
Down Jacq.
Jacq, down the coast.
Yeah.
Fantastic. See, your friends. I mean, I told you, I was looking at them before. Your friends have some colourful tattoos.
Yeah.
And the way that the light on their bodies, and then you know you have this tattoo on the arm. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah, well, I was interested in getting them to be sort of interacting together in the water, as well as just on their own, and also for their bodies to be immersed underneath the water.
Right.
I liked the sort of morphing effect on the body, so that you get sort of parts of the body start to disintegrate.
Right. Yes. Blur and stuff when you've got
Yeah.
really tight detail, but then suddenly. So
like here where their legs are kind of dissipating. So
yeah, that's beautiful.
And this sort of started to emerge in the images, and this idea of morphing and sort of transforming from one form to another, and also sort of becoming. I think when the body's put in water, it sort of becomes more free and more vulnerable, so we're not grounded by the earth.
So there are 2 sides of everything. There's freedom of flight, but there's also vulnerability. Or
there's a vulnerability.
It's not always harmony either.
No.
Sometimes it's this image to do with more conflict, or.
So the other, going back to that idea of women in relationships, and that there are times when we're in confusion, and there are times when we have a lot of clarity.
Right.
So, and that we're all sort of journeying, in a relationship, or journeying as an individual.
Right.
So it sort of provided a visual metaphor for that.
Yeah. Without being too literal, you have. You're.
And I liked that
talking about relationships and
they started to become creature-like in the water. To me, they're sort of. Just more instinctual and raw.
Do you develop the prints yourself?
No, these are digital prints. Yeah.
So you develop them, you choose?
No, I do. I mean, I do sort of Photoshop and stuff to get myself. Yeah.
Yeah, you do the photoshopping.
Yeah.
So so every decision's yours still.
Yeah.
About the
And
quality of light.
I love this, how it's disintegrating, how the arms are just naturally disintegrating into the water. So it's just amazing that effect.
It is.
And also that these were, I asked them to be sort of moving a lot in the water, and it's just fascinating to me that when I was taking these, it was all kind of extreme movement, and now they're this incredible still moment of sort of rawness and emotion, and so it's kind of fun.
Well, the light draws your eye, and it's, even though it's a still image, it's so beautifully, there is movement, your eyes just, either bodies or even the light reflecting off the water.
And also then I just started playing with the way that I position the image, so to sort of
the composition. So here, yeah, it looks like,
So the water's actually turned upside down, and so you get this flight, this sort of lightness and stillness in the moment.
Yeah, they're amazing. And your friends are happy with how it turned out?
Yeah.
Astounded, probably, because they were just frolicking in the water or just swimming in the water as actors or people, and you've taken it, recomposed it.
Yeah, it's quite obviously very different to what was sort of happening, but it's also very natural because they weren't really posing at all. It was really just sort of what happened.
No, just in the moment. Well, Jacq, that's fantastic. Now you also do installations. Is that similar sort of? You do sort of symbolic or metaphorical installations, or what kind of?
I've done some installations with Underbelly at Carriageworks and with Art on the Street in Newtown Square, sort of working with organic materials.
Right.
Primarily, and actually with this, I was working on an installation piece to go with this that was sort of a trough that would reflect light again onto the light boxes, sort of a dappled moving light, but it all got too tight, so that
well, I could sort of see something sort of in a darkened room with the photographs down near towards the floor and the lights sort of,
Yeah, well, I was also putting images in the trough as well, so that will happen, but it hasn't happened yet. So.
No, but it's fantastic. You've just done what a great create so much. And with the light box, of course, you're choosing where to put the globe behind as well. Because sometimes the light's in the middle of the picture, other times it's sort of down towards. So there are all these little subtle things you can sort of to make it more dramatic. Is that how you think?
Yeah, and well, just so that it's giving the right, it's coming from the spot that you want it to be vivid, I guess. And it sort of ties back into the invisible light, is to use these light boxes. And to me, invisible light is sort of like light in the darkness in a way. That for me, that's the idea. So it's sort of lighting up these sort of dark areas in the water, and going back to that concept of transformation as an individual and in relationships. That there's light in the darkness, that we transform whatever we go through. We're always sort of transformed by it. So.
Now, one final question. What's the difference between a light box and a photograph? Why do a light box instead of just a photograph?
Yeah, well, these are Duratrans, so they're basically like the old
decision,
slide.
But the decision to do it, why go to so much trouble rather than a flat, nice colour photograph? Is it just so much vividness of the light coming through?
I think so. I wanted, and because there was so much sort of texture in the water and texture in the bodies, it just looked to me, it just felt to me that it would be an interesting experiment to try and put them in front of the light boxes and see what happened. And,
a film? Have you ever thought of filming something similar to this in slow motion, or? There's possibilities.
Actually, I did think of that as well. I thought, I should have filmed them, but I still could.
Well, this will give you a bit of an idea.
Yeah.
A sort of a crude pan of, but I think that would look great,
There's also lots of lovely little just sections in the images that would be nice. And these images, I guess, they're more that sort of morphing body in the water.
Right.
Sort of transformation.
Yeah, they're almost like Greek gods. Cavorting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sort of sea spirits and because of the nakedness, but also I don't know, just.
Someone said they were quite Rubenesque.
Well, these ones are. Yeah. And here, see, you've got a submerged figure here. There's no face. There's no clarity, really. That's a nice. It's like a Francis Bacon. It's all blurred.
I quite like these because they're so. That was such an active moment when it happened, but now it's like this still glassy.
So these were actually diving in the water, or just going underneath?
Just rolling around, really. So
you should do a documentary. You should do a film.
Some filming. In water. Nice.
Oh well, thanks very much, Jacq. That's been very nice to meet you and to talk about your work. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.